What's up, guys? It's Crash, and some pretty exciting news in my opinion today that I want to talk about from Embark Studios, which is a studio, as you guys probably know, of former DICE developers that went on to do their own thing. And I want to talk about it because this game started out with the trailers, and even with the finals, it looks like that studio is putting on a masterclass on how to use Unreal Engine 5, but they've made some exciting changes to Arc Raiders that I think is going to make it a much more compelling title for me. And when I talk about these titles, a lot of times the questions are, will it come to consoles? So let's get this out of the way right away. Guys, stay tuned for this game because it is going to be releasing on console. We're going to talk about how to sign up for the internal playtest here in just a little bit and show you guys where that's at, but it will probably just be on Steam for that. However, guys, console is coming for this game. Console is planned for this game. So, and I'm just going to spill the beans right now. This is going to be a PvPvE extraction shooter that will come to console in a genre of game that's pretty starved on that platform. You know, most of the big ones are only on PC, so being able to see this come to console could be really big. And if you follow this channel for a while, I was pretty excited about this game when the channel dropped based on the track record of some of the developers that moved over to Embark Studios. And I mean, we've already seen some of the playtests of the finals. You know, love or hate the game mode or whatever with the finals, it looks good. It ran really good for a closed alpha test. So let's talk about the big changes, what they did to Arc Raiders, because when it was originally launched, it was just going to be a PvE co-op third-person shooter. So let's go ahead and find out what they changed. In a blog post from Alexander Grundall, and if that name sounds familiar, it's because you're probably a Battlefield fan if you're on my channel, and he's worked on some of my favorite Battlefield games. So he goes on to talk about the changes that they've made to Arc Raiders. If you venture over to the Steam page for Arc Raiders, you might notice some changes in the way that we describe the game. These changes are fundamental enough that we think it's important to provide some context and describe some more detail what kind of game Arc Raiders is. So essentially the big news here is that the Steam page is updated with everything going on with the game, and how they describe the game has completely changed. And basically, to add a little bit of even more context to that, he talks about last year they made the decision to move the release of Arc Raiders in order to focus on releasing the finals, which we've talked about on this channel as well, our team-based first-person shooter as our first game. At that time, we also said we were giving the Arc Raiders team time to add PvP to the existing foundation of the game. And now that kind of didn't hit me at first. I kind of thought adding PvP was a little bit of rumors. I kind of missed that part. But now we have confirmation that this, instead of being a co-op third-person shooter, is going to be a PvP extraction shooter. And when we go over and look at some of the information on the Steam page, you guys are going to see that they're already alluding to some of the mechanics and concepts that we're probably going to see within Arc Raiders. And like I said, I think console fans could be pretty excited. So I think we'll just talk about this because it really paints a picture of what I feel like you're going to be able to see. It says, "Welcome to Calabretta, Raider. This place isn't safe and hasn't been for a long time. About a decade ago, a mysterious mechanized threat appeared here. They're known as Arc. People have fled to the underground colony of Speranza seeking supplies to survive and shelter from the machines. Demand for resources is at an all-time high, but getting those resources is a risky job and isn't for everyone. But it is a job for you. That's why you've been listed as a raider, scavenging for vital supplies that are scattered across the landscape, everything from leftovers from yesterday's run-in with the Ark to the unlikely remains of a pinball machine. Out there, the stakes are high and you will have to fight for loot. Lethal Arc machines roam the surface and there are no rules in Calabretta, so beware of other raiders. With the traders in Speranza, trust is hard-earned and easily lost. You'll need to earn your keep, so don't come back from a quest empty-handed. When you see another raider chased by a swarm of Arc drones, do you go in for the kill? Do you lend a helping hand? Or do you hold back and feast on the valuable remains? Arc Raiders is an upcoming third-person PvPvE extraction shooter set in a lethal future Earth. Sign up for playtesting now." So the first part of that sounds like essentially what we knew, where it was going to be a co-op third-person shooter where you go out and find these Arc machines that are kind of invading Earth. You go out, you take them on with your friends. There was some talk about the different raiders that you could play as. Some of them specialized in crafting things, so you guys can already start to get a feel that you're going to be able to take out these Arc Raiders, and it sounds like there's going to be some different levels to them. I could really see some being harder, like more boss types, and some other kind of ads and stuff around them that aren't as strong. But it sounds like either way, you're going to be able to disassemble them, take the parts back, and craft new items within there. And then in the underground colony of Speranza, could be maybe where you are building a hideout. I could really see there being a hideout in some of the trailers and stuff. You can see there's kind of a radar where they can see the threats coming from, as well as stuff on the board. So I could see that being something that would be really cool. And then it also sounds like when they say you're scavenging for vital supplies that are scattered across the landscape. There's obviously going to be quite a bit of looting, but then they also talk about leftovers from yesterday's run-in with the Ark. So like I said, the carcasses of the alien, the Ark that you guys take out, you can disassemble those, I'm sure, and be able to get loot from them or craft different things from those items. But then he also talks about the unlucky remains of a pinball machine. So even if you find different things within areas, you know, better loot inside buildings with pinball machines, like my mind is kind of racing where this stuff is. There's actually quite a bit of information in here. And then it talks about traders in Speranza, right? And then they you know, when they say trust is hard earned and easily lost, that really makes you think of like in Tarkov, where you have trader rep, right? Like you complete missions for traders, you get increased rep, maybe you get a little bit better on prices, maybe there's some more stuff you're able to purchase, some higher tiered loot and items you're able to purchase from those traders. So it sounds like there could be a rep system, and then maybe if you don't complete the quest or something, you could lose trader rep and lose some of those benefits with the traders. And then kind of with that last sentence, you know, when they talk about if you see another raider chased by arc drones, do you go in and go for the kill? Do you step in and help them? There's all kinds of different things you can do out in this free-for-all world, it sounds like now. And essentially, I really hope there's VoIP. That's what that comes down to, because when that was added to Tarkov, that made it really cool. I could definitely see them having VoIP. You need to be able to communicate, which just adds so much depth to the gameplay if you get out there and if you need to talk to somebody and maybe try to see if they're going to betray you, or if you can work together, maybe you can work out a trade or a deal. It just adds so much immersion when you have that VoIP, that proximity chat like Tarkov has. So hopefully when they're talking about those different scenarios that can play out, that they do have VoIP. I really hope that comes. And then to show you guys how to get into the playtest is what you need to know. If you are on Steam on PC for now, pop over to the Steam page and then scroll down underneath coming soon. You could probably want to wish list that, and then right below that, where for me it says Ark Raiders Playtest, there'll be a green button right here that says request access. So go ahead and click on that when you're logged in on your Steam page, and that will allow you to be part of the list that could get invited to the closed playtest under NDA. So I overall think I'm pretty excited for this. If you guys have seen some of the new screenshots, and if you go around and look on ArtStation at some of the concept art, and even within the trailers, the art and the area and just everything about this game, the aesthetics look absolutely stunning. So having a third-person PvPvE extraction shooter that's available on PC, console, potentially with crossplay, I think could be a really, really big game. Now, there are a little bit of creative risks, like, right, if you think about some of the things that could be a little scary, it's like, this is really pretty late in the development cycle to switch genres, essentially, right? Switch to an extraction shooter with PvP added. And, you know, I think that brings probably potentially a lot of different coding and developmental challenges with the game. So that's something to keep an eye on. But if we learned anything from the finals playtest, it seems like Embark truly utilizes the actual alpha and beta tests, and the essence of what they're meant for is testing the game. So I think with these user tests that they're going to probably get that stuff figured out. I kind of have more faith in these guys than I do some other studios right now. So I could see them pulling that off pretty well. The other thing that we need to keep in mind here too is I think there is a fairly large subsection of the potential community for this game that is a little bit put off or a little bit saddened by the fact that this was going to be a co-op extraction shooter, and probably Embark Studios just made this quite a bit more competitive. So I think there was a group of people that were excited for just PvE, and hopefully maybe they have a mode or they have some servers, I'm not sure how that's going to work, that still allow the facilitation of that, because I know a lot of people were excited for just a chill co-op shooter game that they can play with their friends, and adding the PvP mode could make it quite a bit more intense and competitive. So there is a little bit to that. The other thing that I'm not especially excited about is the third person mode. I know you guys have thoughts on that a lot of bit. I'm kind of a first person purist, but I have enjoyed Caliber with the third person view on that a little bit. But you guys know that PvP in third person can get a little bit silly with corner peaks and stuff like that. It's just something that we'll have to get used to and understand, you know, the gameplay aspects and how to treat engagements a little bit different tactically when everybody's got third person. But essentially, I think this is really big news, guys. It kind of passed under the radar with everything going on with DICE last week, and I wanted to take a second on this Sunday to talk about it with you guys and go over the list of changes that are coming with Ark Raiders, because I think this has a lot of potential in the fact that it's going to be on multiple platforms. It's kind of in a genre that's a little bit starved on console right now, and when you're talking Embark Studios and the way this game looks and some of the names that are on the development list on the credits for this game, I think we have something that we could get a little excited about. So hopefully this game turns out to be its full potential, what it could be. It looks awesome. I'm excited to get out there. Let me know if you guys are excited for this game and if you got signed up for the playtest. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you around soon.
Everyone is an option. I don't think that's a problem. No, my eyes make me sweet, but most people don't fuck with me. I don't make this easy for you. I don't make this easy for you. And